Hi everybody, this is Quincy from 3dkitbash.com here to do an instructional build on Boon, the tiny T-Rex dinosaur. He's 3D printable and available now on 3dkitbash.com. This guy, these are all the parts that you'll have whenever you're ready to start assembling your Boon figure. You'll have his back end, you'll have these two big legs right here, his chest, his jawbone, his front of his head, the back of the head, front of the head has our 3DK logo on it, the paws. This thing, guess what that is? That's a tongue. Yep, that's a tongue. There's eyes, shoulder pins, neck pins, hip pins, and a selection of 3DK pins. Typically, 3DK pins look a lot like this guy. You can see that. We'll be using the friction pins, which are also available on 3dkitbash.com. So I'll do the best I can to make this concise, and we'll get building right now. To build your Boon, the tiny T-Rex, I recommend you have some pliers available and you have some, this is a hobby knife or something available. Sometimes the 3DK pin ports can be a little bit tight and you will need to ream them out just a little bit to keep them going. But that's another reason why you use the friction pins. They just make it a little bit easier to get everything in there. Number one thing that you'll notice too, probably, well, as you print this guy, the back of the head features a print-in-place hinge. This allows you to, well, first off, the size of these things are 14 millimeters, so you'll be able to do 14 millimeter doll eyes in there if you want. I'll go on and assemble these real fast so you can see. So the eyes, each eye features a tab on the back of it, and it's offset to the pupil. You'll see it whenever you print it. That tab actually fits in to this guy right there, and it kind of locks it down so that they don't freely swivel out of range of the eyelid. I hope you guys can see this. So here's the other one. Maybe that shows it. It's not centered, right? So that just clips in right there. Now you got your eyes ready to go. So this thing, once done, you just fold it down and there you got your eyes going. From there, I recommend, again, using your friction pins. Let's see, actually that's the wrong way. Just push that in, and this port right here is for the tongue. This one is for another 3DK pin. So you check the orientation. It's pretty self-explanatory when you get to it. So from there, you look at the back of that roof of the mouth. There's our 3DK logo, and there you go, just like that. You got yourself the top of a Boon head. You can also rotate those eyes, you see. Awesome. Alright, here's a hinge system that I came up with to help limit the rotation of the jaw. Actually, well, let's do the tongue first. So you can see that the tongue just pops in just like a regular 3DK pin. It will take a little force. This guy was designed for PLA, but PLA doesn't have the give that ABS does. So you know you're gonna have to muscle it a little bit. This should be a model that's decent for kids to make. You know, you're probably gonna want to give it a shot yourself before handing it off to a kid. Maybe, I don't know. It's about, okay, so whenever I'm printing this guy, it takes me about let's see, it takes me about 4 hours, maybe, no, 5 hours to do the full model. So there you go. See, this guy, this hole right here doesn't really matter. It's just a space thing. Don't fret about that thing being gunky if it is. So that's that. That's the chest. Before we attach that, let's take care of the other stuff. So the neck pin. This is the neck right here. So when I printed him, I printed him at 0.2 millimeter layer heights. This thing clips, it has a preferenced, whenever you print it, you'll see that there's ridges on it, and it has kind of a preferenced area that it wants to hang out at. Alright, so let's jump on to the legs. You can see how when this thing starts coming together, it really starts working. Alright, again, this is preference 2. So the hip pin will, can you see it right there, maybe? I'm trying. I will. Let's get it to, there you go. And at the end of it, it should look like that. Woo! Man, these lights over here, I'm burning up. Alright, so here is the claw, and you'll see that one finger sticks out a little more than the other. I like to think that this is the top finger, so that would be his right hand. Again, you're going to have to kind of pop these in. You're going to want to be careful not to damage the nubs on your shoulder pin right there. You don't want to damage these guys. But you might need to press on a table or wherever you're building. So again, I'm not cleaning this model at all for this video. Like I'm showing you exactly what it looks like straight off the build plate. This was printed on a MakerBot Replicator 2, all standard settings with PLA. This is a MakerBot Replicator 2X in the background. Alright, so I'm gonna put the hind legs in before. The key to this is you're gonna want to take it at an angle, kind of pushing up, or you'll have to finagle this a little bit. There you go. Just like that. Yeah. It's not the easiest pin, but it's way better than the other options that we have for pins like this. But once it's in there, it's awesome. It really works good. So yeah, there we go. We got the butt end of a dinosaur ready to go. Okay, so here's the chest. You just pop that chest in using those friction pins. Alright. And once this one's in, it becomes a lot easier for you to position. There you go. Now, this video again is not, I've not cleaned the model, I've not done anything. I've not used that hobby knife, I've not used anything to prep the ports. This is just how he comes together straight off the build plate. So depending on how wild you want to get with it, there's notches in here too in his head, so that helps him hold his position. You know what? This is the good part about these. There we go. Head's in. Putting back together. And that's it. You've got a Boon 3D printable dinosaur character with a ton of character, I think. He was a ton of fun to work with. He is, let's see, fully assembled. He is about 4 inches tall, so he's not very big. And if you do happen to have some of our other stuff, say for instance the Quinn to Infinity line, she comes with a display base. He can obviously work. He's got 3DK pin ports on the bottom of his feet, so he can pose on things. He can sit down. Well, sit down. Here's another one. This was one of the. This was one of the first tests I was printing. You can kind of hug, maybe. That looks goofy. So, yeah. There you go, that's Boon.